Yeah, I was trying to think about what I wanted to talk about today. Sometimes I make little notes in my book of ideas that I have of things I want to talk about or share. Hey, Maria, welcome. And hey, Autumn, nice to see you. Hey there. Oh, that's a tough thing to call yourself. I hate myself. Well, hope you can rename yourself. Hey, Luxar, good to see you too. So this morning I wanted to talk about an experience that I had recently that was kind of interesting for me. And it also ties to a dream I woke up with this morning a little bit. Hey. um, and that is, do you guys ever find that you feel just really drained? Like some days you wake up and you've got this long list of to-do list and you're just tired and drained and like, oh God, I can't, I can't look at that to-do list. I can't sit in front of my computer any longer. I don't want to do it, right? Even stuff that you like, the projects are good and maybe sometimes you have an inspiration to do it, right? But then there's just some days you just wake up and just like, oh, I can't face it. So that happened to me a couple days ago. And, I was like literally sitting in my car and I didn't want to get out of my car and walk into the office. Yeah, Autumn says, yes, exhausted sometimes. Yeah, exactly, right? And, I'd had a good night's sleep and stuff. It wasn't physical exactly. I knew it was mental exhaustion. It was like emotional exhaustion. And so I was like just sitting in my car and I was supposed to go into the office and I was just like, oh, I can't. So I called my friend, Shauna, she's a very wise woman. So I called her for some counsel. And she pointed out something that was just kind of turned the light on for me. And hi, Erica. And she said, because she knows me pretty well by this point. So what she identified was like, how much am I trying to hold on to control? How much am I trying to control the outcome of what's happening? And she said a few other things, but when she said that, it was just like hit me right away. Because I noticed I could feel like in my brain, it was like a hand like gripping my brain, like holding so tight onto control. And in my body, it was like when she said that, all of a sudden I went, oh, and I just relaxed that bit. And I was like, oh, that's what it was. It was control, right? And I realized that subconsciously, it was exhausting me. Like my list was just things to do that I knew I could do. They're fairly simple, tasks. Maybe some of them were boring, but they were just fairly simple tasks. And yet in my body, I just felt so exhausted and tired and like I just couldn't do them. I couldn't face them. And what was that? It wasn't about the task itself. It was that my whole body was trying to hold on to control for the outcome of all of those tasks, for the outcome of everything that I was trying to do. And I was thinking to myself at the time, I was like, I can't take on another project, and then there's this really beautiful thing I want to do with schools and with children. And I'm like, but then, I still got to figure out how to make my book a bestseller and how to launch that. And I still got to figure out how to do this and that and the other, right? So even though the task seemed simple, the control was what was exhausting me. Feeling like I had to be in control of the outcome for all of these different projects, that it was me, right? And the funny thing is, of course, like just me holding on to that control doesn't change anything. It doesn't change the outcome, right? So me like just tensing my whole body up and feeling this huge tension in my brain for trying to control the outcome of all these different things I'm doing in projects, that's not going to help my outcome at all, because that's just internal, right? In fact, it'd probably do the opposite, probably make it worse, because now I'm exhausted and now I don't even want to take action. And So after I sat there for a little while with it and I just breathed into it and I was like, oh, okay. Well, I don't have to control the outcome. I just have to do the inspired action, right? All of a sudden, I just felt like, whew, okay, now I feel okay. Now I feel better. And it was like right there in that moment, just sitting in my car, I could feel the energy returning back to my body. And I could get out and I went into the office and I did stuff and I was just like, hey, whatever. And I did the things I needed to do, but I wasn't tense. It wasn't like, you know, okay, I'll write this agreement. I'll give it to you. It's not up to me if my client uses it or not, right? I don't have to like feel responsible and like tense about whether they do the right thing or not with what I give them. I just give it to them, right? Okay, there you go. Walk away, And I started doing that with each of the different tasks in my day. And by the end, I was like, oh, I'd done a bunch of different things and I felt fine. I felt good. And I was like, oh, that's the secret. That's the secret. That's what I was doing wrong. And so, yeah, I mean, I woke up this morning after, do you guys ever have these really stressful dreams? I have these dreams a lot. So I've been praying about this and kind of just putting this out like in my meditation, like, why do I need to hold on to control so tightly? What is going on, right? And obviously, like, just this, it's like an emotional tension of needing to hold on to control. I'm not actually controlling the outcome, right? All I can do is take action and then whatever happens is going to happen, right? So where is this coming from in my body that my body like is physically doing it? And so I don't know that I figured it out exactly, but I did wake up with a dream this morning, which I think maybe will help me to shed some light on that question, right? Because our dreams are our subconscious trying to speak to us. And oftentimes if we ask a question, then we might have dreams, especially if we ask a question before we go to sleep, we might have dreams that will bring us some insights into this, right? And it's a kind of dream I've had so many times in my life. I've had it like since I was a little kid. And it's where I'm like, I've got something precious, like a little baby chick or a little baby. It's always a little baby of some kind, like some little helpless baby animal that I'm supposed to be taking care of and protecting. And, maybe I fall asleep. I used to have this dream when I was a really little kid that I would fall asleep and I'd roll over and accidentally crush it. And I would wake up just crying and so upset. And like nowadays, I still occasionally I have this dream again. This was like a little calf, and I lost it. And it was this baby calf, and I was trying to protect it, and I was trying to get it back to its home. And then I like turned away for a minute to do something, and then disappeared, and I'd lost it. And it was this whole thing, which is really funny in a way, but emotionally really like traumatic and draining. And I was like, is there something going on? Like, did something happen to me as a little kid that maybe I don't remember? Or is it tied to something where I feel like if I lose focus for just a second, if I turn away, if I relax, then something terrible is going to happen to this small, innocent entity, child, baby, whatever that is. I don't know if that's where this kind of need to control is coming from. Obviously, like with some of the things that I had happen to me in my life, that's a factor where, possibly, where I wasn't in control, right? As a small child, and, things happened to me, I was abused or other stuff like that. So I don't know if it's coming from that in my subconscious, but like for me that's something I want to figure out. I want to bring up and to understand it and to heal it so that I can be more comfortable with relaxing into the process and letting go of control of the outcome, right? And just being able to take the inspired action. So when I pray or I meditate and, I have ideas about stuff to do and actions to take, and I've got my list of stuff that, needs to get done, all of that is fine. And oftentimes that stuff doesn't really take energy, actually. It's the internal energy that we're using that makes it hard and that makes us tired. it's the internal friction, right? Like, am I doing it right? Is this the right thing? Is this going to have the outcome that I want? It's all that tension. Can you even feel it in your body? Like, as I speak, can you feel it in your body, that tension, like in your stomach? And here, when I say those words, it's like I get tense, right? That's what makes us tired. That's what makes me tired. That's what, and when I'm just like, I just can't do it anymore. I can't do it. I just don't want to look at it anymore. When I'm in that space, it's actually that tension that I don't want. That's what I'm trying to separate myself from and to get relief from. Is that's what I realized when in that car in that moment. And yeah, so I guess just an exploration. It's a continued exploration for us of understanding ourselves. And yeah, so that was some of the stuff that I learned this week, and that came up for me. And so I think in my meditation, in my intention, I'm going to ask that I am able to take action and release the control. And when I sense that in myself, when I sense that exhaustion and that tension or that tightness, like in my brain, tightness in my stomach, to recognize that for what it is, to recognize it's because I'm trying to hang on to that control so tight for the outcome, which is something I can't control anyway. So just breathe deep, let it go. Take the action. Just be like, hey, take the action, have fun with it, see what happens, right? Yeah, so Lexar says, mostly at that time I do. Close my eyes and think positive, deep breath, sometimes cry. Yes, those are all exactly the right things to do. Those are all good things to do. Take a deep breath, focus on something positive. And if you need to cry, just let the emotion come up for sure. Let it release, and then move into the next step, move into thinking positive, move into focusing on something beautiful that can take you to the next step. So yeah, those are all the right things to do. Good for you. Good for you. Yeah, so anyway, I don't know, hopefully that will be helpful to you in your day and in your week. And let me know what you're doing and how you handle stuff. And I'd love to hear from you. I think more I want to be talking about, I want to be asking you guys questions and having you go find the answer and come tell me. I think that'll be fun to try for a while. So, all right. You guys have a beautiful, beautiful Sunday. I'm in my hiking clothes. I'm going to go for a hike. And I know you are too, probably, Autumn. So, Lexar, have a beautiful evening. You guys have a great week, and I will see you later. Autumn says, great advice. Good. I'm glad. Yes. You're usually pretty good at that, I think, Autumn, about relaxing into it more. So it's something that I recognize that I have to do it, right? It's not that I just want to do it. It's like, if I'm going to be taking on more responsibility and all of this stuff, like, I just can't carry that tension and that weight. I just have to release it. I got to do it. Otherwise I won't be able to take on more. So that's the secret I'm learning. Okay. I'll see you guys later. Thank you for the hearts. Love you.